All right, we wanted to get into some Week 5 quarterback power rankings as we are going to watch this quarterback face another quarterback tonight in about 12-ish hours.
All right,
as the
who's this
Bears
from?
take on the Commanders. This is the Week 5 quarterback ranking from the 33rd team. That's Mike Tannenbaum's website.
Oh, I think.
And there's a lot of NFL execs and former execs that contribute to it.
Uh-huh.
Where do you guys think they have Sam Howell ranked amongst the 32 starting quarterbacks heading into Week 5?
19.
Anybody care to guess?
19.
I've seen it, so I won't chime in.
So that
Jason's
means
in at
it's
19.
bad. That means it's bad because it says Howell slander.
Hold on. Was this wasn't just from Week 4. This is for the entire year, right?
This
For the
is
year.
Week 5 quarterback power rankings, ranking every starter entering another week of
Give them
NFL
context,
action.
at least give them the top 5.
I mean, your top 5, there's no surprise. It's kind of surprising. I think number 5 is a surprise. Trevor Lawrence is the 5th-ranked quarterback. He struggled a bit.
He hasn't played like the 5th best quarterback.
Herbert is 4. Lamar is 3. Josh Allen at 2. And Patrick Mahomes at 1.
All right, so
Hold
I'm
on.
going to say
Tua's not in the top 5? They got Lawrence ahead of Tua?
They have Tua Tagovailoa ranked 10th.
All right.
They have Dak Prescott ranked 7th.
Okay.
what are they ranking it on? Are they saying what their criteria is, or this is Tingle stuff?
I'm sure it's
this
not.
is these guys Tingle.
I'm sure it's not Tingle. I don't know the specific
Well, I mean, it sounds
criteria.
like a Tingle. Isn't Tua, like, going into last week, wasn't he like the top MVP candidate?
I mean, he was certainly up there, yes.
I mean, he only leads the league in passing yards.
Yeah. What's the freaking criteria?
I
It
don't
sounds
have-
like a Tingle
I don't have that.
column.
I can't answer that.
All right, so they're going to say 28. That's what I'm going to say.
They've got Sam Howell ranked, and I do agree. I think this is slanderous.
Oh,
30th.
wow.
30th out of 32. The only quarterbacks they have ranked behind Sam Howell are Josh Dobbs of the Cardinals.
And Bryce.
No, Zach Wilson comes in at number 32. They actually have Bryce Young one spot above Sam Howell at 29.
Well, that's
they have
dumb.
Kenny Pickett, who's been garbage, at 28. Desmond Ritter,
They got Fields
who's been
ahead of
awful,
them.
has been ranked 27th.
It's a felonious list.
This is a Tingle list.
Here's what
Yeah.
they say about Sam Howell. No quarterback has been as volatile as Sam Howell this season. Every game is either a dream or a nightmare. Sometimes that means a 9-sack, 4-interception day against the Bills. But when things break right, you get Howell taking the Eagles down to the wire. I can't get all the way there with Howell until the consistency improves, though. The flashes are mesmerizing, but his bad plays and games are as backbreaking as anyone in the league. Hopefully, Howell can put together a stable stretch at some point this season.
I just don't think – I think he's been, inconsistent, but I'd say overall of his 4 games, 3 have been decent, 2 have been pretty good, 1 was a catastrophe. But I don't think it's been like every other.
Yeah, I mean, he's had a C or C minus. He's had a couple A's, and he's had an F.
Yeah.
Has Bryce Young had an A?
No.
No.
A lot of it
Bryce
is
Young
clearly
had a C
reputation.
game?
Right.
Right.
I mean,
So this is the felonious list. I agree. They got Desmond Ritter ahead of him. Do you think
it's a
Desmond?
felonious list.
No.
Yeah. I mean, come on.
They have Derek Carr 10 spots above Sam Howell, and he's been super mediocre to start the season. Now, I know he's dealing with like an AC shoulder joint injury, so he's compromised, but I mean,
Where do you think he should be, though?
I don't know.
Like, looking at those
Low
quarterbacks?
low 20s.
Yeah, I'd put him
That's
somewhere
fine
between
right
20
now.
and 25.
Right, I would drop based on this season, I would drop guys like Ritter and Pickett below him, and probably Bryce Young.
Zach Wilson.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, Zach Wilson was
Zach
already
Wilson's
below
already
him.
below him.
I mean,
I would
So
drop Fields.
he'd probably end up in the mid 20s.
Yeah, where's Fields again?
Fields is at
24.
24. This one's egregious. Daniel Jones is at 26. And
Again,
he's-
it's reputation. Now, the thing about the 33rd team, I like a lot of the things that they do. Like you mentioned, Mike Tannenbaum, former GM in the league. If you go to their front page, I think Gruden, Dave Wanstedt, like there's all these ex-coaches that are part of it.
It's fine.
And I like their breakdowns. Now, this guy who wrote the little write-up on Sam Howell,
Derek Klassen.
no, I thought it was Ryan Reynolds, not the actor.
right, not him.
Ryan Reynolds. And it says, Ryan was an accounting major at the University of Minnesota.
Well, here's how I know this list is hot garbage. Ryan Tannehill, who has been horrendous this season.
Right.
That offense just can't move unless Derrick Henry's getting 30 carries. 14th.
JP, this
Yeah.
article that
14.
I'm seeing is written by Derek Klassen. Week
Yeah, but I think
5
the individual
quarterback power
write-up on Howell that I read was from Ryan Reynolds. But maybe you're right.
Okay, all
I
right.
can look up Derek
Well, the
Klassen,
fact that
too.
they've got Tua 10, I mean, Tua is completing 71% of his passes. Is that leading the league? It's got to be pretty close. Actually, Josh Allen's completing 74, and Purdy's completing 72. So he's probably third in completion percentage. But he leads the league in yardage, 1,300. He's averaging 327 a game. He's got 9 touchdowns. I mean, I don't understand how he's the 10th best starting quarterback.
I mean, it's just
Klassen, by the way, is an NFL draft film analyst.
right. He's a nerd.
Correct.
Listen, it's fine. I don't care. You rate him whatever you want.
You're that nerd.
It doesn't matter. He just has to play well, and we all know it. It's eye test.
I mean,
as far as I'm concerned.
in what world is, at least this season, is Joe Burrow the 11th best quarterback in the league?
Well,
I understand he's dealing with a calf injury and he's been compromised.
they are struggling though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
1 and 3.
I mean, he's probably the 25th best quarterback so far in 2023.
Right.
Yet on this list, he's ranked 11th.
Right.
It's from where they were at the start of the season.
You're right. It's probably the reputation
Well,
of each guy.
How about you adjust your ranks as you go through the season? Don't people do that based on the performances that
Well,
that
that's
they've
why
seen?
Burrow slid
he
down to
is.
11.
He's dropping every single week. He's dropping lower and lower every single week.
Well,
And so,
I don't think Burrow's been dropped low enough.
well, yeah,
Well,
I mean,
I have
That's
a
just
question
my
then.
opinion.
So after Sam's terrible game the week before, where did they have him? So they have him 30th here. Did they have him 32nd?
You want his week 4 ranking?
What was
I
his
can
week
find out.
4
He's
ranking?
probably right
Oh,
around there.
yes, he
They
was
moved him up
probably
2 spots,
down
maybe?
super low.
Yeah.
I'm just curious. Or did they give
week
him
4
no credit?
rankings? The title of the article was Joe Burrow trending downward.
Right. Go to the bottom of the
And
list.
I'm going to the bottom of the list. Last week it was Zach Wilson 32, Sam Howell 31.
So they moved him up 1 spot.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Josh Dobbs was 30. I think Dobbs has been better than that, actually.
Dobbs is actually kind of surprising.
He's had some moments. Right?
I
agree.
thought he'd be lucky to complete, over 50% of his passes. He's actually
He's completing
moving
over
the ball.
70.
He's moving the ball for that
All right,
offense.
let's go to Reggie in Baltimore. Reggie, what's up, man? You're on with the Junkies.
Look at me.
Hey.
And
Reggie.
Tua actually moved up. He
Appreciate
was
it.
11 the week before.
What's up, Reggie?
Mhm.
Yeah, thanks for taking my call.
Yep.
So, I want to focus a little bit on the defense. I think that Eric Bieniemy kind of made some adjustments in the offense,
Totally.
put up some points last week against Philly. So I want to focus a little bit on the defense. I want to see if Del Rio make any kind of adjustments. Send
What would
more
you
than
suggest?
4 men. I want to see him send 5 men at times, and they have to have the blitz. Being though we're playing the Bears, I want to see the team. I want to see the defense get after Justin Fields, man. I want to see some sacks in this game. I want to see our defense get aggressive and kind of take control of this game. I think this is an opportunity because Del Rio, the defense, as you know, we send 4 men. They kind of hang their hat on the defensive line. The linebackers, for the most part, are kind of absent in a lot of our games. So I want to see us get after him, get some sacks in this game. I want to see if Del Rio, make any kind of adjustments on defense. All right.
All right, thank you.
So,
Yeah, I'll be
thanks
looking
a lot.
too. Thank you, buddy.
Thanks a lot.
Well, they
Thanks,
better get some
okay.
sacks. I mean, Fields is the 3rd most sacked quarterback.
Right.
So you better get to him.
I felt like Jack did bring some pressure a few times, maybe more than what I'm used to seeing from him. I really am going to be curious to see how Forbes responds tonight. So I think he will be challenged. I actually think he's gonna get one tonight.
Maybe a bounce back game, maybe a pick 6 night for him.
I don't know if he's gonna pick 6, but I think he's gonna be challenged, and I think he's gonna get one. I think Forbes will get one tonight.
So he'll play much better than
on
he
the
did.
other
I think he'll
side
play
of the ball.
better. I don't think Fields could take advantage of him the way.
I think McLaurin and Dotson are going to get some tonight because the Bears, I believe, are trotting out a bunch of rookie corners because of injuries. So I think those dudes are going to have big nights,
right?
Big ones from the 30th ranked quarterback from the 33rd team,
right?
Sam Howell slinging it to him.
I had this thought, by the way, because I've been watching. It's Cody Barton, right? The other linebacker that they brought in from
Drab's
Seattle.
guy.
Drab laughed at, and he seems to be kind of in the vicinity of a lot of plays, but he doesn't make a lot of super impactful plays. But what I do notice is I think they brought him in to be, he's the one calling the plays. Like, I think Jamin didn't like that job. Like, and I think maybe
he couldn't do it.
I think Jamin was asked to do it, and it was just an extra burden.
Yeah.
And I think that's why they brought in Barton. I don't know. Did Barton do that in Seattle? Was he the play calling guy defensively in Seattle or no?
Maybe he was last year when Bobby Wagner was gone, but can't really remember.
Because I see him doing all the signaling and everything, and that frees up Jamin. So that's probably why he's there. I don't know. Just a guess, observation I made. But
I saw J.P. Finley tweet out something which was interesting, and I think we kind of talked about it this week. I'm trying to see if I can punch it up. But almost everybody assumes that Washington is the better team than the Bears. The Bears are 0-4.
I do assume that. Yes.
The Bears are 0-4, so it makes sense. And the Commanders have won a couple games and are coming off a game where they look good. But what he put up, I'm trying to find it,
Got to play
is
music game day.
that when you look
What are
at
we
the
doing?
numbers, here it is from J.P. Finley, NBCS.
This is what I mentioned yesterday.
That the teams are actually closer than you expect. The Bears rank 31st in scoring D and 22nd in scoring offense. That's a bad team, right? Commanders rank 29th in scoring D and 17th in scoring offense.
I went through these yesterday and showed you, like passing-wise, rushing, virtually all the statistics, they're very similar. They're not as disparate as you would think.
But I
In
feel like
one or two categories.
I feel like the Commanders' offense is ascending, and I just don't know if Justin Fields.
You feel like
has-
that after one game because 2 games ago you didn't feel that way.
in the Buffalo game.
Yeah.
I didn't
No,
feel that way.
but the week prior to that, we put up
Jimmy,
35.
It's all recency bias.
I know. But
So
what he's-
hold on. Two of the last 3 games, they've scored like 30 plus.
Yeah, which is encouraging. Which
It's
is
not
what-
just last week.
I know it's just funny when he says ascending because 2 weeks ago you wouldn't say that. Usually ascending's a couple games in a row.
Well,
No,
two
but
out of 3.
through 4 weeks. They're what? Almost 4 points better on offense than they were last season.
Mm-hmm.
That's improvement.
And that's with
And
a
I think
dud
that
against Buffalo.
They're going to keep climbing. I feel like
think
they're
so.
going to keep
I
climbing
can't
up
tell
the
you.
ranks.
I was talking to some people yesterday on text, and everybody I talked to is trying to convince me that this is sort of that that cliche trap game.
Trap game for the Skins.
Hold on, are you
Yeah,
on multiple
and-
text threads talking about Commanders Bears? That sounds awful.
It's just gambling.
Oh, is that just gambling?
Yeah.
I mean, some of it was gambling
Too many
related.
holes he's in.
But-
I recognize
His
it.
life
I
I
know.
mean,
is-
these
games.
people
I'm well
are trying
aware.
to convince me that they would not be surprised if the Bears won this game.
I would be pretty surprised.
And I would be surprised.
I would be surprised too. It's certainly
But-
possible, but I would be angry
I mean,
and
if
surprised.
Sam has a game like he did against the Bills, then I wouldn't be surprised. But I don't think he's going to revert back to that Sam Howell.
Because their defense is trifling.
Their defense is awful. They can't put any pressure on
Yeah.
the quarterback.
They've given
They
up
have
a
2
billion
sacks.
points. They do have 2 guys in the secondary who are going to be out. Jalen Johnson, the
Right.
corner, is going to be out. Eddie Jackson, the safety, is going to be out.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure who they're starting behind them. You said they're starting a rookie corner.
They're starting, I think, 2 rookies in the secondary.
Terrell Smith is one. Yeah.
I think
I
think
was just
Terry
surprised
McLaurin
by
is
that.
he's gonna victimize some people tonight at FedEx Field.
Let's see at what we're saying tomorrow. So they targeted. We complained about it, right? Because they had targeted Dotson and McLaurin the week prior like 8 times.
Yep.
Last week, what was
almost
it?
They were
tripled it.
19 total between the 2.
So let's see what the targets are for those guys. Let's see if they continue with like the 3-step drops, like 70% of the time.
Yep.
Move in the pocket, moving Howell, allow them to rush 4 or 5 times when the pocket breaks down. If they stay with that formula, I think they'll be fine.